Hey guys, welcome to another yoga class. And today we will do a little gentle hip opening class. It's beginner friendly. You can join in whatever level you are at. We are going to take it easy and it's going to be a rather short class. Ideally you can do this in the evening. Hips are storing a lot of stress and emotion, so it's pretty good to do this in the evening before you go to bed, and to just loosen up your hips and open up your hips and release some of the stress that's sitting in there. I have prepared blocks for this class. For one of the poses you might need them, and if you have any blocks you can take a couple of books and staple them on each other, stuff like this, whatever elevates you a little bit from the floor. And other than that, as always, just do what you're capable of, don't try to force anything, and then we'll get there together. Also, if you like those kind of videos, I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. With that being said, let's start in a simple cross-legged position on the floor, and let's start to get in the moment and arrive in our practice. So close your eyes, and we want to slow down our breathing a little bit just to arrive in this moment, in this class, and be thankful that you have taken some time for yourself this evening and to enjoy a nice yoga class. Just steady your breathing, get aware of your surroundings, of the sounds that are happening around you at this moment. Get a sense of the smells that you can recognize. And just try to be in this moment. You can incorporate Ujjayi breathing if you want. Ujjayi breathing is basically you are contracting your throat muscles and you make a sound like you want to fog up a mirror. It helps you to deal with stress and to calm your body down. And then once you're ready, slowly open up your eyes again, and we are ready to start with our practice. Namaste. We will first start in tabletop position to give a little warm up to our wrists. So just come into tabletop and make sure you place your shoulders above your wrists. And whenever possible, you want to turn your elbow creases forward. And then we gently rock from side to side to just give a little warm up to our wrists before we start with our sun salutations. I usually like to loosen up the wrists before that, especially people with wrist problems and chronic wrist pain. I highly recommend doing this before going into any kind of plank or chaturanga or whatever position that requires you to put some weight onto your wrists. And then we go ahead and we turn our hands backwards so that your fingertips are facing your knees, and then just gently rock back and forward, really gently here, as much as you can. Don't force anything here, especially if you are very tight in your wrists. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can go as far that your palms are lifting off of the floor a little bit. It's a really nice stretch. And then turn your wrists to face the outer edges of your mats. And then we're gonna rock from left to right very slightly. Okay, then we're gonna place the wrists or the palms facing front again, to the front of the room. And then finally we are going to simply rotate our arms. We keep our palms pressing down and we just rotate our arms to the inside and to the outside. This gives a little bit of extra massage to the wrists. And then we are ready to move on to our sun salutations. So come to the front of your mat and find yourself in Tadasana. Okay, to get some blood flowing, we go through 3 rounds of sun salutation A. Lift your arms above your head, inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Feel free to walk your dog here to loosen up your legs a little bit. Can also shift a little bit from side to side with your heels or whatever feels good in this moment. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees and step in front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands above your head. Exhale, hand in front of your heart. Inhale, lift your arms above your head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Try to push the floor away from you. Spread your fingers wide. Work your heels towards the floor. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees and step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, hands above your head. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, hands above your head, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Utilize Ujjayi breathing here if that is hard for you. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, step or jump in the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, hands above your head. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Close your eyes here for a little moment and arrive in the moment. Feel the sensation in your body. And gently open your eyes again and come to Tadasana, mountain pose, hands alongside your body. Then we are going to extend our feet to be as wide as the mat, that your toes are pointing outwards, so that you basically line up with the edges of your mat and your heels go a little bit inward, and we are going to do Malasana or Yogi Squat or Garland pose. And bring the hands in front of your heart and slowly squat down into a squat position. Now if this feels uncomfortable for you in your knees or in your back, or you can't go down as far, it does not matter. You can place a pillow underneath of your buttocks, or you can use blocks to support yourself. What I generally like doing in this pose is to shift a little bit from left to right to loosen up the hips a little bit. And also join your hands still in prayer position in front of you and try to create some space here with your triceps on your knees, on the insides of your knees, and just try to a little bit work it towards the outside so that you can create a little bit more space in there. Next we're going for a little bit of a revolved malasana or revolved squat pose. So bring your right palms of your hands down in front of your right toes about a palm's length. And you can also work it a little bit more outwards depending on your level. And then you want to raise your left hand as high as you can. And I'm not really good in this position, but look towards your left palm, look up. I'm just gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. This is a tough stretch, so if you cannot go that far, don't go that far. Okay, hands back in front of your heart. A little push again. And then we do the same thing on the left side. So place your left palm in front of your left toes, about a palm's length. For more stretch, you can move your hand more towards the left as much as you want. And then raise your right arm high and look up to your palm. You can create as much space here as you want, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then bring your hands back into a prayer position, and then we slowly release our hands to the floor and we slowly work our way back up into a standing position, and we toe heel our feet back into the center of the mat to arrive in Tadasana. Next I want to do a little tree pose. So stand in front of your mat. And there are different variations that you can use depending on your level, of course. So the beginner level is you just turn your left foot to face 90 degrees or to the edge of your left mat. And the beginner version is put your hands on your heels and just lift your heel up and place it right above your right ankle, so you have a little bit of stability there, and you can go from there. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can place it on above your ankle a little bit higher, and if you want to take it all the way, you can place it in the inner side of your thigh. Just whatever you do, don't place it on your knee. That would be bad. Don't press onto your knee from the inside. And you can take whatever position you like from here. Then raise your arms up once you are there above your head, and grow your tree if you are able to do that actively. Press your whatever you use. If you have your foot down or you have your foot on the inner side of your thigh, you want to work your thigh towards your foot and your foot towards your thigh. Also actively open up your left thigh to the outside even more, and stay there for a couple of breaths. And to get out of this pose again, bring your hands down, back on your hips, and turn your foot towards the front of the mat and release it down onto your mat and land on the mountain. Then we repeat the same with the right side. So turn your right foot out towards 90 degrees, facing the outside of your mat. Place it either where your ankle is, above your ankle, or on your inner left thigh. Once you are there, you can grow your tree as you want. You can put your hands in prayer position or in whatever position you like, and then stay here for a couple of breaths. Again, work your right foot towards your inner thigh and your inner thigh towards your right foot. Balancing poses can be challenging, especially they are really dependent on the form of the day that you're in. One day you're really good at them, one day you're really bad at them. It's normal. Bring your hands down back on your hips. Move your foot to the front of your mat and place it down on the mat again to find yourself in Tadasana. Then lift your hands above your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, sorry. Exhale, downward facing dog. Little rest in a downward facing dog. Now lift your left leg high. On an exhale, place it in between your hands, closer to your left hand, and lower your right knee down to the mat. Then you can flatten your right foot and place your right hand on the mat, fingers spread wide, and then raise your left arm straight up for revolved low lunge. Bring your hand back down to the mat and now move your left foot to the outer edge of your mat. And now it depends on the level you are in. If you need blocks, just use them. You can also use a pillow if you like. We're going to do a lizard lunge, and that's really opening the hips up very deeply on a deep level. And depending on your skill, you can either place your forearms on the block like this. If this is where you are, that's perfectly fine. You can put the blocks upright to have even a little bit more space there, that it's not that hard. Or if you want to, obviously you can place your hands on the floor and go as far as you can. And this is also a pose that's really dependent on the form of the day I'm in, how deep I can go. But whatever is right, whatever feels right. And you can also, if you want to take it even further, just place your right forearm and your palm down on the mat and take your left arm and press your left knee to the outside of the mat a little bit more to create some extra tension there. You can also release yourself down on the floor, rest your forehead on your arms. And then slowly go ahead and work yourself more to an upright position again. Pivot your left foot a little bit more to the center of the mat and place your palms on the mat, and then go back into downward facing dog. Same thing on the right side. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, place between your hands. Lower your left knee down to the mat. Lower your top of your left foot down to the mat as well. Left palm, fingers spread wide. Right arm goes up for revolved low lunge. Look to your upper hand. And then bring your right arm back down to the floor and move, toe heel your right foot to the other edge of the mat again and get ready for lizard lunge. Again, you can use blocks here if you want to, and just come down to whatever level feels comfortable for you today. Sides of your body can also be very different, where on one side you are much more flexible than on the other. Oh, that's perfectly fine. Alright, then again, work yourself onto your hands. Remove any blocks or props you are using and tuck your left toes and then move your right foot back and come back into downward facing dog. 3 more breaths here. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, step or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then come to sit on your mat. Now we are going to do one of our last poses. Reclined bound angle pose, or Supta Baddha Konasana. And that means placing your the soles of your feet together and bring them in as close to your bum as you can while keeping a straight back. And then place your hands beside you and then slowly lower yourself down onto the floor. And then you can go ahead and, if you can, bring your feet or your heels even a little bit closer, and then just let your knees flap out to the side. And just really ease and relax into this pose and let gravity do its job. We're going to stay in this position for about a minute. You can also stay longer in this position if you wish, if it feels good. And once you are ready, place both of your hands under every of your knees or your thigh, and then just fold your legs together like a book and help them a little bit to come together. And once you are there, back in the center, lift your head a little bit to the back so you create some space under your neck, and then take both of your knees into your chest and just give a little massage to your lower back. Just rock from left to right or do a few circles there. Whatever feels good now. And once you are ready for it, come down into our final pose, Shavasana. Spread your legs as wide as your mat and also create some space underneath of your armpits, and move your hands towards the sides to create some space between your arms and your body. Palms facing upwards. And just close your eyes and take a little break from the day. And I thank you for joining this class today and wish you an easy day or evening. Namaste.